No, no, this can't be happening. That's what she whispered when the door opened. I know, because I was standing in the shadow behind her, watching her reflection fold in half. The moment didn't start there. It started years earlier, in a kitchen that smelled like burnt toast and impatience. I'll be back before you know it, my mother said, already halfway out of my life. Europe for a month. Wine, museums, freedom. She pressed a crumpled 20 into my palm like a tip. Not rent, not groceries. Survival money. I was 11. The door clicked shut. That sound taught me something permanent. At first I waited. I rationed. Bread ends. Tap water. I learned which lights could stay off, which neighbors wouldn't ask questions. I learned hunger doesn't scream forever. It gets quiet, then sharp, then focused. I told myself she'd forgotten, that she'd call. She didn't. What she did do was post photos, smiling, effortless, a woman rediscovering herself while her child learned how to stretch a dollar into silence. That's when waiting ended. Planning began. People think betrayal announces itself. It doesn't. It leaks. The unpaid bills, the school notices, the landlords just checking in. I read everything. I copied everything. I hid documents in a shoebox under my bed like they were contraband. At 11, I learned systems fail people quietly. At 11, I learned how to listen. I found the envelope she left behind. Power of attorney, temporary guardianship, sloppy, incomplete. She trusted no one would look closely. She was right, everyone except me. By the time she came back, I wasn't waiting anymore. I was ready. I'd learned which signatures mattered, which dates invalidated promises. I learned that neglect leaves a paper trail if you don't rush it. I let the school file reports. I let the utilities issue warnings. I let the system document her absence for me. All I had to do was exist long enough for the evidence to harden. And I did. Years later, people would say I was mature for my age. They never asked why. When she returned, she brought souvenirs and a tan and a version of herself that assumed forgiveness was automatic. She opened the door expecting gratitude. Instead, she saw the house. Empty. No furniture. No pictures. No warmth. Just bare floors and a single chair in the center of the room. Legal notices taped neatly to the wall like an exhibit. She gasped. No, no, she whispered. Greek, maybe, or just panic dressed up as language. This can't be happening. I stepped forward then, taller than she remembered, quieter too. It already did, I said. She talked. She always talked. Excuses, tears, the past tense doing gymnastics. I let her burn herself out. Silence is a mirror. People panic when they see themselves clearly. I handed her a folder. Inside, reports, dates, signatures, a timeline of absence so clean it looked intentional. You abandoned a minor without provision, I said, calm, controlled. You left me with $20. Her mouth opened, closed. I watched the power shift. You can feel it, like air pressure changing. She tried anger next. You think this makes you smart? She snapped. I smiled for the first time. No, I said. It makes me prepared. Years passed. I left. I built something. Education, work, assets, distance. I learned that revenge doesn't need noise. It needs timing. She resurfaced when she needed me. They always do. A business venture, a family investment, my name on documents I'd already read twice. You're outdated, she said when I asked questions. You wouldn't understand. Then sharper. We're done here. I nodded. Understood. That was the moment the trust activated its voting rights. By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. Confusion rippled through the room like a dropped glass. Who just removed the majority stakeholder? Someone asked. I stayed seated. I'd learned early that the loudest person in the room is rarely in control. She stared at me when the answer landed. Really looked at me. Maybe for the first time. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? The chairman repeated, voice thin. I met her eyes. The child she left behind had learned compound interest and patience, and how systems reward people who read the fine print. The fallout was quiet. No screaming, no public humiliation, just doors closing, accounts freezing, invitations disappearing, the kind of ending that doesn't trend but lasts. She tried calling. I didn't block her. I just didn't answer. Now, when I think back to that kitchen, that $20 bill, that door closing, I don't feel rage. I feel clarity. Betrayal didn't break me. It educated me. She taught me that love without responsibility is a lie. I taught myself how to survive it. And when she finally saw what she'd built by leaving, the silence, the structure, the consequences, she gasped. Not because it couldn't be happening, but because it already had.